our school superintendent.
Figuring it out. I found SP is good quality and it's recorded.
So how do you stop?
Mayoral.
Tina, you want to come sit over here next to me, sweetheart? Come on over. Sorry, Susan.
Oh yeah, that may be better.
You want to sit right here? Good job. Because the mayor is here to visit us today. It's kind of special to have the mayor here. Kind of funny, huh? Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Sylvia Cordero. I'm the assistant principal here at Santos Elementary School. Our principal would love to be here, but he had a family emergency, so he has not been here for a week. But said to definitely, continue his open door to everybody here who's supporting our community. So I just really want to give you all a welcome. Just to say a couple words before passing it on. I just really want to thank our teachers and our office staff who really helped us make the participation 100% here. So I think we have all our kindergartners. To the tribute to our teachers and our staff, office staff who really communicated that to our families. So I just wanted to thank you.
That was fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. So, you guys are really all 16 years old?
No.
You're not? They told me it was your 16th birthday today. It's not your 16th birthday? Really? You're 5? But why do you guys look like you're 16? You all look older than 5. You think you look older than 5? Yeah, you kind of do. How old do you think I am? Am I like 50? 100? Am I like 100? Could I be 100 really? You think? How about, do you think I'm 15 years old?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think I'm 20 years old?
Yeah.
25?
Yeah.
That's like really, really old, 25. How about 30? No, that's too old. I know. Yeah, no. That's good. Okay, so it's not your 16th birthday, all of you? No. But you're in high school, right? You're not?
Kindergarten.
Oh.
I'm in kindergarten.
You're in kindergarten?
I'm two.
And are you guys going to college?
Yeah.
All of you are going to college?
Yeah.
Why aren't you going to college? Yeah, when you're bigger, but when you're bigger, you're all going to college, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you eat lunch, then you'll get big and then you'll go to college. What about now? But you've all heard of college?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is college? Is college like a foreign country? Is it like a place you go for vacation? Is it school?
Yeah.
It's still school. But don't you, I mean, it's like a long time, so you're in school forever, aren't you? You kind of start at your age at 5, and then when you're, I don't know, 15, you're still in school, right? 20, you're still in school, maybe beyond. But college is important, right? Yeah? But college, don't you think college, he went to college, and look how important he looks. But he doesn't just look important, he really is important because he has all the money.
Yeah.
Like all of the money, you know what money is, right? Yeah, he has it all. All of your money. Really, he does. How much of their money do you have?
We have billions of dollars.
That's a lot, right?
A lot of money.
And what do you do with their money?
We invest it and we keep your money safe.
Okay. And then but you use their money and reinvest it in what?
And we make it grow, and we use it to help the community, and we help businesses be more successful. Isn't that great?
I know. It's very exciting, isn't it? So all of you guys are going to college.
Yep.
Because that's what you told me earlier, right? College is important, we agree?
Yes.
And you're excited about college? Like really excited? Do you think it's more homework or less homework than kindergarten? Do you think it's more? College kind of has more? Yeah. Do you have a lot of homework now? Not really? You want more homework? You do? Nice. I agree. This is a good kindergarten class.
I got homework at home.
You have homework at home? No, it's really interesting. That's the best part about homework is that's where it is, at home.
When you go to college, you can learn stuff.
Yeah, you can learn stuff in college. That's really good. Very good. Well done.
Why you can learn a lot in college?
What else happens in college? It's okay, guys. What else happens? Yeah, you get bigger in college. Your mind gets bigger too. How about you? You probably get a little more homework. But you know, but it gets, well, I don't know if it gets easier. Does it get easier in college?
A little bit easier.
You're smart though, so it gets easier. I had a hard time with homework. How about you? Did you have your hand up? That's okay. Don't worry about it. How about you?
My dad is working to get money.
Working to get money. And that's why we're here. And I'm so glad we worked this out right before. The segue, Mr. Superintendent. Money. Is money important to go to college?
Yes, it is.
Why is money important to go to college?
Because it costs a lot of money to go to college. You have to buy books. You have to find a place to live. You have to. You need to have a lot of money. You need to eat while you're in college. So you have to have some money.
Yeah. Is college cash? Really?
Great.
So she put money aside. She had money in a savings account. That's good, because that's what we're doing today. All of you are going to be given a savings account. So we're going to put money aside so that when you're ready to go to college, when you grow and you eat a lot and you get bigger, that you'll have the resources, the money itself to actually afford college. And you're one of the first classes that are going to get these college savings accounts because of the wisdom and vision of Jose Cisneros, of our supervisors, Bevan Dufty and Supervisor Campos, and a great superintendent of schools, and all of these folks here, these parent leaders, community leaders, and these folks that are part of something called foundations. What's a foundation?
Foundations are where we think about how to make our communities stronger, smarter, and healthier.
All right.
That's pretty good.
You guys know, do you think college helps you get a better job? Who wants to get a job when they grow up? What kind of job do you want to get? You want to work on a house.
You want to work as a princess? It's great. You hear that, Kate? It's a great career upstairs.
Yes, back here.
You can do it on ice.
You want a what? Policeman. That's a very,
Who
very
wants to be a
important
teacher?
job.
Good
Anybody want to be a doctor? Do you know that for almost all these jobs, you know what you need to do? You need to go to college to get these jobs. So who's going to go to college?
You guys beat it up? Because I think they were telling me. You guys were fabulous. Bye, guys.
Thank you for coming.
We have a lot of pictures. We took a lot. Yeah, they were everywhere. Oh, we'll put them up later. I'll put them up later.
You guys bring your chairs.
This for the chairs and David, Bevan.
College program. I'm glad you were able to join us and see some of our first account holders hearing about the news today. And with that, I'd like to introduce the #1 champion of this program, Mayor Gavin Newsom.
Thank you all for being here. This has been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for 6 or 7 years. I remember reading a clip about then Senate candidate in New York State, Hillary Clinton, talking about college savings accounts, talking about some countries that experimented with these accounts around the world and how she had a desire to do something along these lines. I remember talking to some members of my staff about looking into the possibility and prospect of putting something together. A couple of years went by, candidly. Other things became priorities. First and foremost was the creation of a local earned income tax credit, the first in this country, and something that Jose Cisneros and his team have put together and has made a real difference to working families, allows them to keep more what they're earning and draw down more of the federal earned income tax credit. And then we started to work on another program that's got national attention, again, a program Jose has stewarded and is led on, called Bank on San Francisco, which has become Bank on California, and now the federal government, the Obama administration, put a down payment of $50 million to create something called Bank on USA to deal with people going to check cashing facilities and going after, going to get their checks not only cash but needing to get payday loans, which is the third leg of this stool that Jose announced last year with us, and that's the notion of getting out of the business or getting people out of the business of having to go to these predatory payday lenders, and we created something called Payday Plus. It's all been part of this narrative of financial literacy, a focus on savings, a focus on getting assets, a focus on building partnerships, public-private partnerships, and connecting the foundation community, the academic community, and leaders throughout this city on really focus on stabilizing our diverse populations and providing the resources, both the academic resources as well as the financial resources for people to move ahead and to move forward. I've always thought cities are laboratories of innovation. States are laboratories of democracy, but cities are laboratories of innovation. And this is where new ideas should be promulgated and should be pushed and should be advanced. And that's what we've been doing. And this narrative then extends many years later to this program, kindergarten to college, that we're advancing today. First of its kind in the United States of America. No city has done this. We tried 3 years ago, but some members of the Board of Supervisors didn't like the idea and rejected it. We didn't even get a hearing. They said, nope, it was the mayor's idea, so get rid of it. So then we got some other faces, and I learned my political lesson, and they took the lead, and we got a lot more support. And then we had 2 champions this year that said, look, let's not play politics with this. And David Campos, Supervisor Campos, and Supervisor Dufty said, you know what, we believe in this. This can make a difference in people's lives, and this is an idea worth pursuing, and they really led the charge in the Board of Supervisors to make sure there was a fair hearing and to make sure the community was part of this process and to make sure that we got the support of their colleagues to steward this forward. And then Jose Cisneros had to come together, as he had been working on the sidelines for a year and a half trying to organize around this, but knowing that this was going to happen, he had to actually put this whole thing together since he's responsible for the implementation. And he reached out to some partners at Citibank, and we got some folks at Stanford University interested, and we got Sandra Hernandez at San Francisco Foundation, we got folks at EARN, a great group here in San Francisco, and Ben's friends, and the New American Foundation, all the CFED, all these groups said, we love this idea, and we want to be part of it. The Gates Foundation said, you know what, we're interested in this idea. And we are finally here. Because all of that has now come together. And the notion is simple, and I won't take up too much time because there's a lot of us, except to say this. Once a mind is stretched, it never goes back to its original form. And if you can create that quality of imagination, you can get kids, as young as the kids that were just here in kindergarten, thinking beyond lunch and beyond recess, and talking about a college education. That has a transformative impact on their life. Do not ever underestimate the notion of a mind that is stretched. If you can't think it and you can't see it, you can never necessarily be it. But if you can start thinking and talking about things, it's a remarkable thing about life, it tends to manifest. And the one thing that's manifesting now is the ability to think about something you can now afford. Because you have something that a lot of families don't have. 1/2 of African Americans and 1/2 of Latino families in San Francisco do not have access to a checking or savings account. 1 in 3 San Franciscans don't have checking or savings account. Something we all take for granted, probably 90% of us in this room. They end up going to check cashing facilities and these payday lenders. And now you have kids that have something their parents don't have. They have a trust fund of sorts, a college savings account. And they have friends in the private sector that are going to match the contribution of the city. And then you've got groups that are going to say, this is about fiscal discipline and we want to help create a financial literacy curriculum around this. So we encourage other savings and a different kind of discipline in their life beyond just the notion of a private college savings account. I think this could be profound. We may be wrong, but it sure as heck is worth trying something new. Because what we're doing is not working, and you all know this. You know 1/10 of low-income families ever graduate from college. I mean, this is serious stuff. We're the lowest percentage of parents that have not graduated from high school of any state in the United States of America. So how difficult it is for a parent who never graduated high school to imagine sending their kid to college. But here we bring that stewardship and that mindset home. And I think it dramatically can change people's lives. And it's going to disproportionately benefit our diverse community. So I couldn't be more proud of this, more enthusiastic, more proud of the incredible support from Carlos Garcia and our school district in Hydra Mendoza, and how they immediately saw this as an opportunity to build on San Francisco Promise, our guarantee of a 4-year college education, our bridge to success, the partnership we just announced with the Gates Foundation last week at community colleges, the preschool for all, which is part of the curriculum, pre-K to 16, and all these really wonderful things that are happening here in this city. And I want to just again reinforce the incredible leadership of Bevan and David and Jose. They are here for a reason because they made this happen, and I'm really proud of them. And they're the ones that will deliver on this. And I want to just thank all the community and the teachers and the parents that stood up and stood side by side with us for helping us get this far as well. So with that, my time has expired 5 minutes ago. I'm going to pass this on to
Again, I just want to spend a couple of minutes talking about the program itself. And first, let me talk about the goals of the program. As the mayor stated, it really is about building aspirations in the hearts and minds of every child who enters the San Francisco public school system. Think about it. A chance to let every child know they have the opportunity and the equal opportunity to be successful like everybody else in our city. That is the most important thing we can do. And to do that, we're going to actually use some city funds. We're going to actually open up accounts, and we're going to use city funds to put an initial small seed deposit into those accounts to make them real. Initially, the city will be putting either $50 or $100 in the accounts, depending upon the situation of the family, and that is really meant to get the account established. The account will be opened automatically, and that's a key feature of the program, automatically opening up these accounts. This is something that's never been done before, giving folks an opportunity to save in a fashion that's the easiest it possibly could be. It just shows up. It's just there. That's what's so key about this program. And then, to make the account successful, obviously, a $50 or $100 deposit is not going to amount to enough money to go to college. We need to engage the families. We need to engage the relatives. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to work with the school department. We're going to work with teachers, with parents, with organizations, and we're going to do everything we can to help families learn how they can grow these accounts and make them successful for their kids. If they can find a way to just put even $5 or $10 a month into their child's college savings account, there will be significant money there when that child is ready to go to college. That's what we need to get parents to understand. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to work with private partners, many of whom are here today, to help us educate folks. We're actually going to launch with financial incentives in the first year of the program. You'll hear about those today. Parents will be able to save money and have that money matched dollar for dollar in the program. Real, true cash incentives to make these accounts successful. That's what our program's about. It's about changing the landscape. It's about making a difference. But we can't launch this program without solid backing and solid account support. And that's what we're here to announce today. We're here to announce today that we're going to be working with Citibank to open up accounts for all of our entering kindergartners. And we're going to work to get those accounts open this fall. And with that, I'd like to introduce from Citibank, Bob Aneebly, who's the head of the microfinance group there. Bob?
When San Francisco came to us with this idea, and it was a very ambitious one, it did seem very ambitious and an outlier in many ways. But I think the leadership of the city had the clarity and vision to put together a program that can be scaled and implemented in a way that will probably be an example for many other cities. And we believe by working together with them, we'll learn to build a platform about financial inclusion that will include all the children entering the school system, citywide, San Francisco. The other was the collaboration of other players who are here today, like and the New America Foundation, CFED, the San Francisco Foundation. To start at the beginning, and it's a challenge to build a platform that every child will have an account and can see their account online, that they'll see their balances, they'll see the incentive account as institutions provide incentives. But we need to go beyond that and think over the next 12 years, how do we take that excited group of kindergartners through a whole learning process about building and saving. We know from recent reports that children who save are 7 times more likely to go to university than those who don't. And it's not just the amount of money in the account that makes a difference. It's a lifetime of learning to manage funds, to have the incentives and the prioritization around managing their own assets. So we're very excited to be a part of this, this launch, and we look forward to working with the whole community here in San Francisco to make it a success for all the children in the city.
You know, we couldn't make this program a success without the incredible partnership of the San Francisco public school system. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Carlos Garcia, the superintendent of the San Francisco Public Schools.
For us, this is like frosting on the cake. It really is, because we've really been working the last 3 years in San Francisco Unified to create to have a cultural shift in the district. You know, many school districts aim, I don't think they aim high enough. They say that, you know, we want our kids to graduate from high school. Well, I'm sorry, but in this day and age, that just isn't good enough. So we started about 3 years ago an effort to include preschool, to have the conversation of preschool, that kids from preschool are going to go to college, to begin in kindergarten, to go through up all the grades and start talking about, it's not about getting to the, you know, there's a reason why we call graduation ceremonies in high school commencement ceremonies, because it's actually the beginning, it's not the end. And so this plan, well, it's a commencement. And what we forget is that we can't do this by ourselves. So really, to have Gavin, to have Jose here, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while, but at first I remember when Jose approached me, I thought, you know, we're in San Francisco, maybe he's a little out there thinking. And then Gavin, well, we know he's a little bit out there. That's why we love him, you know. And then to have the Board of Supervisors, David and Bevan, and then everybody to jump in and start saying, you know, this isn't about politics, it's not about bickering with ourselves, it's really about, let's create a city where, you know, I mean, dogs get treated great here. And no offense, because I have a little dog. I know we're dog friendly. But how about creating the most child friendly city in the United States? What's great is that these folks here have had the vision to realize that we can't just expect the school district to do it all. We can't. That's why I think districts have failed in America. Because the only way school districts are successful is when entire cities, communities get behind them and start believing in the children. And here, these folks are walking the talk. And what really helped us last year, beginning this year, every 9th grader coming in to our entire school district at every single high school is now required to take the A through G requirement. That means that you're not going to take classes that are a waste of your time in high school. Every single course offered in our school district today is a course that will get you into a college or a career. Because it can't be about just graduating, it's about planning the rest of your life. Without this support, I mean, I don't know about you, I grew up dirt poor. I didn't have an account till I went to college and had a girlfriend who was smart enough to say to me, you know, you need to start putting money away. You know, to have kids who have never had an opportunity, or their parents, to have an account, to start planning for college is fabulous. Just think of how we could grow this. We talk about partnerships, and it's great that we have partners here who have stepped up. But just imagine creating something where students that attend school and are at school 98% of the time, if we could find a donor, a foundation or something that would say, for every child that shows up all the time to school, it has 98% attendance, we're going to throw in another $100 into the account. If we got everybody in this community, you know, we have the financial district, if we got everybody there to say, we're going to start throwing in some money for things that are kids do wonderful things, but we need to put our money where our mouth is. We need to demonstrate that we appreciate that they're doing great things, and we're going to reward them, because that is what America is, the most capitalistic country in the world. Let's reward these kids so that by the time this $100 that we're investing now, by the time these kids graduate from high school and ready to go to college, let's have some real money there for them. So that they actually, because one of the biggest obstacles when you talk to kids in high school and elementary kids, and you talk with their parents, the number one obstacle of why people think they can't go to college is they can't think of how they would pay for it. That should never be. That should be out of our vocabulary, because every child that doesn't make it there, we pay for it tenfold in other ways. So I want to thank everybody for a city that's stepping up and believing in its children. And so it seems only appropriate that now I get to introduce one of the parents, since that's what we're here for, right? And es un placer, me da mucho orgullo presentar a Julissa Cruz. Julissa, she's up there.
Es muy importante, por ejemplo, para mí como padre, porque nos ayuda a que nosotros podamos tener un mejor futuro para nuestros hijos. Y eso nos ayuda a empezar a ahorrar desde ahora para que ellos puedan tener un mejor futuro y poder llegar y triunfar en
So first I'd like to say thank you for implementing this program for our kids. And it also prepares us as parents to think ahead for our kids. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Superintendent Garcia. At this time, I do want to introduce some of the other elected leaders who are strong champions of this program. As Mayor Newsom mentioned, this program is broadly supported by the elected family in San Francisco. And with that, I'd like to introduce Supervisor Bevan Dufty.
Good morning. Thank you. So this morning I woke up and I did what I usually do, is I picked up the Chronicle, and I was so excited to see this as the front page story in the paper, and I read Julisa's beautiful quotes and about her aspirations and why she wanted to be in the United States and what she wanted to see for her child. And then, as is appropriate, a reporter presents both sides. And so one of my colleagues, who I'm very close to and respect, said, gee, how are we going to pay for this? And I felt like he kind of got a pass because he was described as being fiscally responsible and tight-fisted. And those are not words that are usually thrown in my direction. But let me tell you, it costs over $300 a day for a child to be in juvenile hall. We spend $114,000 a year to keep a young person in juvenile hall. The children that we saw in this room today, by the time they're in 2nd grade, you know what? Why are David and I together? Because we share the children and the communities and the schools with one another. By the time these kids are in 2nd grade, they're going to know the difference between red and blue. It's a dividing line in our community and our city. And how wonderful it would be if we could aspire that in 10 or 12 years from now, the red and the blue would be the difference between Stanford and Cal. That's why I support this program.
That's good. This is good. I'm learning something.
Go Bears.
Best I've ever heard of it.
Thank you, Supervisor Duffy. I'd like to introduce another strong champion and reason for the success of this program, Supervisor David Campos.
That is pretty good. I don't know about the Cal Bears part. I do want to thank Mayor Newsom for his vision and his leadership on this issue. I do think that this would not have happened without the mayor making it the priority that it's been, and thank you for pushing back even when cuts were being made in City Hall. And you know, what I've always said about this program, what to me on a very personal level is so powerful, is this notion that from the moment that a kid begins the school system, that you make it clear to him or her that college is a possibility for them. And I think that's something that cannot be overestimated. It's something that is very powerful. In California, only 10% of Latinos have a college degree. That number is 22% for African Americans compared to 40% for the Anglo population. That's a huge disparity that unless we address as a state, it's going to have long-term ramifications about the future of this state, economically and otherwise. I've always said that in a way I benefited from the fact that I'm an immigrant, that I grew up my first few years in Latin America, because in Latin America it really isn't too far-fetched for Latinos to go to college. Every person who goes to college in Latin America is Latino. And so the notion that as a member of that minority group you would go to college is something that you grew up with. And a lot of our kids don't have that here. And so we need to make it clear to them that, you know what, in this land of opportunity, that opportunity is available to you. And what a better way of making that statement clear than by the government saying, we are willing to make that investment in you and your future because we believe in you. I think that's very powerful, and I think it's something that's going to change the lives not only of these kids, but it's going to change the lives of their families. So it's really amazing for me to be a part of this, and I want to thank everyone who's made it possible.
Thank you, Supervisor Campos. As you heard, we have a number of strong partners here on the first day we're announcing this program. Very strong partners that are going to help us make this program a success. And one of our long-standing partners here in San Francisco, an organization that's been helping low-income families be more successful with their money, is EARN. And now I'd like to introduce Ben Mangan, the president of EARN.
Good morning, everybody. EARN is a nonprofit based here in San Francisco that helps create new cycles of prosperity for families by helping them save and invest in things like college. And for nearly 10 years, we have seen local San Francisco families who on average earn only $20,000 a year save millions of dollars when they have the incentive to do so and to use this money for things like college. And we're very proud today to announce that we're going to match the first $100 of a family's savings in this first year of kindergarten to college. Because we have seen the power of a small incentive like this give real life to aspirations that might feel like a dream, but become a reality for families who participate in a program like kindergarten to college. And I want to say that EARN has been successful in large part because we work on the shoulders of the great efforts of groups like CFED and the New America Foundation. San Francisco is very fortunate to have two of the greatest thinkers about prosperity in the country here, Bob Friedman and Ann Stuhldreher. And they and the San Francisco Foundation helped create EARN as an organization. And I'm going to turn it over, I think we're going to turn it over to them now. But I want to thank you all for being here and appreciate your interest in the program.
Thank you, Ben. And as Ben mentioned, we do have a number of strong organizations that are working with us. An organization working on the national level is CFED, working hard on the goals of asset building and doing a lot of research around college savings and children's savings account. And with that, I'd like to introduce Bob Friedman with CFED.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer, and all of you here. It's been our honor and freedom, I guess, to be working nationally to create a savings opportunity, a realistic path for every American to go to college, start a business, buy a home. And in that, we've gotten to look at the emergence over the last 20 years of children's savings accounts, college savings accounts. And so I want to take that national perspective and just reflect here where I think it's not just San Francisco being out there, but San Francisco being out there in front. And I just want to make 3 comments on that. One is there was a lot of research and demonstration that has gone into this. We had a large seed initiative in this country with thousands of people and rigorous evaluation. I've got some reports from that. But San Francisco very carefully considered what had gone before and applied the lessons of that. We found out that given the opportunity, poor people, even very poor families, will save. Not because it's easy, but because it's the price of stability and hope. It is, as we say in the title, hope in concrete form. Secondly, there is not just one innovation here. There really are a whole series of them, and I think they've been called out, but it's worth underscoring. The city has figured out how to create a flexible, simple, spare foundation for lifetime savings and aspiration that can be built on. And they had the guts to invest in a tough time, knowing that this is about the future as well as about the present. The school system totally integrated the teaching where it ought to be in the school system and within existing courses, not as some set-aside program. We also know that lots of financial education programs, we have very little evidence of their effectiveness without an account attached. So this is a huge experiment. And then city, as those of you who have tried to open up a savings account for a kid know, it's not easy. And one of the things we've learned is this won't happen unless it's easy. City has figured out a way to make it easy, and it's rolling out here. And then finally, to my nonprofit partners, it can't happen in the public sector alone, and you need nonprofit partners. And the final point I want to make is San Francisco is the first, but it won't be the last. I imagine that 10 of the other cities that San Francisco is organized into cities for financial empowerment will follow the lead. I hope that the federal government will with the Aspire legislation or some other national child account legislation like New America has been proposing. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. And I'm very proud to announce today that the San Francisco Foundation has also come on board to support this incredible program. I know everyone has familiar with the San Francisco Foundation right here, our incredibly strong community supporter. And with that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Sandra Hernandez, the CEO of the San Francisco Foundation.
Thank you, Treasurer, and really want to, I mean, Bob said it beautifully. I think you have to have bold city leadership. And you can see our mayor, our treasurer, our superintendent all understood what part they could play. We also recognize as a community foundation that there are many, many donors, corporations, philanthropic institutions that really do care about the future of California. And the future really was sitting here about a half an hour ago. In addition to all the research that's been done, the notion that you expect somebody coming in as a kindergartner, expect them to go to college, that you've set out the expectation as well as the opportunity is what this joint partnership is about. San Francisco Foundation believes in asset building as an important means for people to pursue economic opportunity and to be better citizens. And so we're very excited to partner to bring in our donors and other foundations to help with the matching and to help with the financial oversight. So we're very happy to be part of this incredibly exciting program.
And one of the primary thought leaders on the national level that we've been working with is the New America Foundation. And with that, I'm very proud to introduce our local thought leader here in San Francisco with the New America Foundation, Ann Stuhldreher.
Thank you so much. I am the last speaker. I don't think there's anyone else waiting in the wings. You know, I think it's all been said. I'm feeling really proud to be a San Franciscan right now, and our city in this area and in many others is not afraid to go first. We are all up here because everything we've seen from the latest research, from the good work of EARN, from what CFED and Bob have been testing around the country, is that these accounts have the potential to really change the odds for all those kids you know, who were sitting here earlier. And I know that, you know, this is a tough budget time. And we need to make sure, especially in education, that every dollar we spend is working as hard as it can. And from what we know at this point, this is going to be a small investment that really pays off later. At New America, it's funny, we're a nonprofit, nonpartisan policy institute, and when all the kids were sitting there, I wanted to say, you know, just like Sandra did for the foundation, who wants to work at a think tank? I'm sure all of the hands shot up in the air. But at New America, we're lucky because what we get to do is advance good policy. And specifically, we want to move forward, you know, big ideas that really break out of the traditional kind of left-right way of approaching things. We think that this is one of those ideas. And, you know, again, we're just really excited. We're going to work with everyone here to make sure this account is as an effective tool as it can be for kids and for parents. And then we're going to help other cities that are interested in this approach make it happen. And this is also, I think, going to drive and inform some policy innovation we're seeing at the state level and at the national level. There is a bipartisan bill right now to create a from-birth savings account for all Americans. So I think with that, I will wrap it up.
Thank you. I know we've taken a lot of your time, and I think we just have 1 or 2 more minutes. Maybe if there was a question or two that anybody had, we could answer a question.
Actually, I'm just wondering how much the family should put in the account to maybe to beat up the inflation rate and also the tuition increase in the college, and also is that the city bank is going to waive the fee for the saving account because there is a limit that you have enough money in the saving account.
So I think the question was how much should families put into the account, or could they put into the account to make the account successful and be sure they're advancing inflation and things like that. I think our obvious answer is the more they can put in, the better those accounts will be successful. But our goal is to make sure they're putting in at least what they can. As I said, maybe at least a $5 or $10 a month amount would be a good start. And we're hoping that we can get them to build on it by bringing in other relatives, other family members, friends, employers, you name it. We're going to work with them to bring in all the resources we can to make these accounts successful. We're just beginning our negotiations with Citibank. I'll let Citibank say what they want, but believe me, we're going to make sure the accounts are very low cost, both low cost for the families and low cost for the city, because we know this is the right thing to be doing. It's good business for hopefully the bank and the city and the account holders.
There are no minimum balances or fees for the parents of children on these accounts. And if you saw the 25 students, you would see, 25 future college graduate clients, hopefully of ours in the banking system in San Francisco. So the statistics should change. So for all of us, it's an investment over time, and I think they all appear as good clients in the future.
But just to put it in, which is fabulous. Just put it in perspective. I mean, if you put $20 a month aside, you have $14,000 around 18th, about 18th birthday. That's just that's average using some historic inflationary. I mean, that's about where you'd be a compound interest the rest. So that's not bad. That's just $20 a month. Now, I know that's a lot of money for a lot of people. But what you kept hearing today, and this is a really important part about what has happened today that was reflected in today's paper but has been amplified, is the platform notion. This is not what we're announcing. We're announcing a platform that can be built on, that's limitless. You have EARN that says we're going to match $100 savings. Where'd that come from? Out of nowhere. Who else is out there? Citibank saying no minimum and no cost. Who else is out there? You've got the Gates Foundation and Stanford that are taking a look at this because they want to analyze it. Who else is out there? And so this thing can be built and built and built. If you're a philanthropist in San Francisco and you don't know how to give back to the city, imagine putting $100,000 saying, you know what, I want to put $100 to every one of those kindergarten accounts. And put it. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm dead serious. Without speaking out of school, I took a bit of my salary last year and cut it, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. It's the kind of thing you want to do. I'm not being literal, I'm being figurative. I'm not kidding. What greater return on investment? That's direct investment on quality of someone's life and aspirations and hopefulness than doing something like this. So I just think in 5-10 years, we're going to look back, and this will be a remarkable moment. But we won't know how remarkable it truly will be. And that's what makes me so excited and so proud that we have all these partners. And this just started today.
Mr. Mayor, when you talk about the city's initial investment, it's not a lot of money, but still, when the city goes through year after year of budget challenges, how do you justify spending this money?
What are we at, 0.00001%? I mean, we invested more money this year in healthcare. We invested more money in preschool. We are going to complete Maria Sue's vision 5 years ago. This year we're going to be the only big city with universal after school. We enhanced that this year. You make investments. You don't just make cuts. And we're making investments that pay, as Supervisor Belty said, great dividends. So I'm so sick and tired of the politics in this country. It's this zero-sum game, either or, you tax or cut. And there's third ways of doing things, and you make investments, target investments. This is a target investment. It's so negligible, I can't believe it. The money is really important, but de minimis. We already have attracted more money than we've invested. How's that for a good idea? That's my kind of stuff.
With that, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. A number of us will be sticking around if you have individual questions or interviews you'd like to take place.
Hola, yo soy Olivia Calderón con the New America Foundation. Aquí estoy con